So before we proceed for a track 4, it is very important to thank our interim jury who helped us in shortlisting these stars. And they are none other than 3 iconic members: Captain Dr. Usha Banerjee, Captain Madhukari Ray, and Ms. Tankam Gomez, all ANI founder members. A round of applause to them. So we are going to listen to vibrant and active, energetic staff nurses and student nurses as they come over and express their views on their futuristic nursing. To take this forward, may I now invite Captain Sandhya Shankar, founding member ANEI, who would chair the session, and the jury professional Professor Rafat Razia, member ANEI, Captain Madhukari Ray, EC member ANEI, and Ms. Kavaljit Oberoi, EC member ANEI. May I request all of you to please come on the dais. A round of applause. After food, at least you all should be energetic.
It's my honor to introduce the chair for the session, Captain Sandhya Shankar Pandey, Corporate Chief of Nursing, Fortis Healthcare Limited. Ma'am has worked as Director Nursing at Medanta Medicity, Max Healthcare Limited, Group General Manager HR, and Head of Nursing Quality Education and Training. Served the Indian Army as Captain Clinical Nursing. Ma'am has many awards and publications, to mention few: National Healthcare Women Leadership Award by Z News and CMO Asia 2019, Max India Chairman's Award recognition for her outstanding performance. Ma'am published many papers on critical care nursing, nursing practice outcome, and many more. I request ma'am to take over the session.
Thank you very much for the kind words. And being the moderator, I'm the privileged one to introduce the jury and give a brief snapshot of this session, the track 4 for the day. Are you with me here?
Yes.
Thank you. And with me, you guys and the beautiful, lovely audience in this auditorium, please prove one prevailing myth wrong with me. And the myth is the postprandial hyperglycemia is too sleep inducing. Are you going to prove it wrong?
Yes.
Thank you. That's such a relief for me. All right, thank you so much, friends. And this afternoon, while everybody gathers here, this session is little unique. Connecting it from the previous session when you had the CIOs, CEOs, and the leaders from the healthcare. You are going to witness in this session something different. They spoke about the future is here. They spoke about the capability of the future. Please witness the capable insights and the intelligence of the future of nursing. And friends, I present to you this track and session of this conference. The allocation competition finalists in two categories, the student nurses and the staff nurses, the registered nurses, who has competed, paved their path through almost 100 of them in total, approximately 100 of them in total, and represented and competed across nominations and participants from 11 states of ANI, and stand here confident and proud to compete among each other. So we have the 2 top finalists for in both the categories. We have 2 students and there were 2 staff nurses who were nominated. Unfortunately, one could not make it to this session because of some personal exigency, and it literally viewing this session through her head of nursing, who is amongst us and who heads Punjab state for ANI. And so I will be, briefly introducing our juries for this session, and I have the honor to introduce Professor Rafat Razia, ma'am, an eminent personality, and of course, holding the prestigious position of Deputy Director Nursing of the Government of Combined Andhra Pradesh before the division, and currently who holds the Dean of the Abhishek University, Hyderabad. It's Anurag University. I stand corrected. It is Anurag University, Hyderabad. And she had actually been the guide for numerous programs. And it needs no more introduction when the eminent leaders in the morning session present amongst us proudly said, pranam to their teacher, who was sitting here when ma'am was sitting here in the crowd, in the front row, and they targeted her and they paid their tribute and gratitude both. That was loud enough. Saying anything more to it will be demeaning to her grandeur and the glory. Thank you, ma'am, for being the guiding lamp in the nursing. Next, we have Captain Madhukari Ray, an eminent leader, and of course, one of the founder members, and also one of the preliminary judges who sit amongst us here to tell us more about the competition and our experience. And Miss Madhukari currently heads the Eastern region as the regional head for the Apollo Group, and masters in business administration and an robust and avid nursing professional. She has a huge experience to her kitty to be sharing and leading the nursing workforces, so aptly holding the position today, which you actually hold it so tight and so responsibly. And of course, our third jury, Miss Kamaljeet Oberoi, our connect from my alma mater, from my current organization, but you have actually left a strong legacy. Currently, Ms. Kamaljeet Oberoi is the Group Chief of Nursing for the Paras Group of Hospitals, the Paras Healthcare, and in her past experiences, she has been holding the responsible chairs of Group Nursing Head at Emirates Healthcare, United States of Emirates, Regional Chief of Nursing for Fortis Healthcare, and of course, she's also been the Technical Committee member for the NABH, the National Accreditation Board of Hospitals and Healthcare Providers. But of course, she is an very learned and a very powerful NABH assessor who puts the hospitals to test. Of course, we are indeed proud of you in your qualitative journey which you extend and represent nursing strong in that complete healthcare fraternity. So warm welcome to you, Ms. Kamaljeet, and very warm welcome to all the three juries. With your permission, maybe please call upon the participants now. Yes, thank you so much. So to begin with, friends, we'll start with the registered nurses, the RNs, the young RNs, and I'm here privileged to call upon the first participant. She is one of the winners of the national level finalists. We had two of them, as I said, Miss Ida. Is she there? Can you have? So Miss Ida Salome Yar, a very young nurse who has just spent nearly 2.5 to 3 years serving the nursing fraternity, and I'm proud to say that within this short duration, she has actually emerged and evolved as a strong nurse to hold the position of infection control nurse in our hospital for last almost more than 2 years. She's currently serving with Baptist Hospital, and she represents Karnataka state here as one of the national finalists in front of you. So over to you, Salome. We all are eager to listen to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon. Ma'am, you're right. Post-lunch hyperglycemia is hitting hard. Good afternoon. Can it be much more louder? Good afternoon. Myself, Ida Salome from Bangalore. So let's get into the topic. Too often we underestimate the power of touch, the power of a listening ear, the power of a kind word, or an honest compliment
that could literally change life around. About 75% of Indian health force are made up of nurses. How proud we must be. I would like to define nursing in just simple terms. From womb to tomb. From womb to tomb. A nurse is present at the time of death, and a nurse is present at the time of birth. From womb to tomb. Nursing profession has reached great heights. From 7,000 nurses treating 400 million people, to low literature rate to high literature rate, to unskillful nurses to highly skilled nurses, to no stigma to what we are here now. Nursing profession has reached impeccable heights. This cannot be the end. Nursing profession and the healthcare system grows hand in hand. But in some cases, the healthcare system helps the nursing profession to grow, and the nursing profession helps the healthcare system to grow. I would like to jot it down into 6 important points how Indian nurses contribute to our future healthcare system. The first point is eventual upgrade in practice. Eventual upgrade in practice. Do you all remember we nurses had a practice of using reused syringes and catheters, which cause transmission of various diseases like bloodborne diseases? And later, as researches and studies took place, we got upgraded into new practices. This upgradement into new practices helped to strengthen the future healthcare system. The second important point I would like to say is digitalization and nursing. In a recent article I read, make digitalization your friend. Make digitalization your friend. Who doesn't like digitalization? The world today is running towards digitalization. But how far the healthcare system have adapted digitalization is the question. About 60% of the healthcare system have adapted digitalization, where the remaining 40% are reluctant. How we nurses are using digitalization in our profession? We started telecommunication, we started to phone call our patients to know their regular vitals, and we started documenting our regular vitals in patient notes on tabs rather than papers. This updation and digitalization will help to strengthen the future healthcare system. The third important point I would like to say is working and promoting on new healthcare appliances. We nurses and doctors are the first person to get hand in hand to new appliances which is launched in the market. For example, have you heard about mercury thermometers? And later on we got updated to digital thermometers. And now we are using infrared thermometers. How this came into existence, we nurses practicing and promoting it. But how will this help the future healthcare system? Patients today are more towards accuracy. Patients are more towards fast care. So we adapting and promoting new appliances launched in the market will help us to meet this need. The fourth point I would like to share is strengthening healthcare force by expanding nursing education. Graduating as a nurse is something which is always looked down by the younger generation. It might be due to the social stigma or the type of work that we do. There are more than 3,000 nursing colleges present in India according to Indian statistics. But how many colleges are linked to hospital? How many colleges are practicing simulation is the point. How we nurses are going to fill this gap? Conducting in-service education, having frequent courses for newly graduated nurses. Good skill and good knowledge will strengthen future healthcare system. The fifth point I would like to share is formulating standard treatment guidelines. India is a vast country, but our healthcare sectors are divided into two, government and private sectors. I always feel the health the healthcare providing to the patient should be equal. I remember one of my tutors saying, we nurses are here to serve and not to be served. We nurses are here to serve and not to be served. We nurses should formulate certain guidelines which has to be universally followed, where there is no compromise in the quality of care we provide. The last and the final point that I would like to share is nurses focusing on specialization and accreditation. Improving healthcare services by enhancing specialization or evolving new specialization help us to meet every little concern of the patient, and we nurses focusing on accreditation help us to have no compromise in the quality of care we provide to the patient. But how is this going to help the healthcare system? It helps in medical tourism, it helps to provide standardized care, and there is no compromise in the quality of care. I would like to end my talk saying, we nurses never stopped contributing to our healthcare system. One best example is the pandemic. When every other profession left their profession and went back to their family, we were one among the profession who left our family to work for the patient. I am proud to be a nurse. I am proud to be a nurse. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Juries, would you like to ask any questions to the speaker?
Congratulations, Salome.
Thank you so much.
Where would you like to see yourself in next 5 years?
I am a newest in as an ICN. I was previously working as in a cardiology department, and then I was recently put into a very new department called as ICN. When a nurse can just pull from one specialization and to another specialization, and when a person can do the best, I feel I wanted to grow more in that profession wherever I am. That I wanted to do my best in wherever I am.
Thank you.
What I would say is you have put it across very well. So right now I don't have any questions to say, but I can say congratulations. You have
so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And
Hi, Salome.
Hello, ma'am.
Just you have brought out very important points in terms of how nursing will be shaping in future and already started their journey. But then, how you feel that some of the important contributing factors which will take us to a next level, not next level, to a greater height in future.
So one such point that I already shared is digitalization. I already told we nurses are not ready to accept digitalization because we are already in our own comfort zone. So I feel we nurses should come out of those comfort zone, start seeing technology and investing technology in the nursing profession.
Staying in India?
Depends. Depends.
all right. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Friends, can we give a big round of applause because first speaker since morning has actually, within the respect of time, has has the honor and privilege to not to listen to that hooter. Right? Okay. Thank you very much. Those who have joined little late, just for your info and a reminder, theme for this is the track 4, and theme for this track is views from tomorrow for a better, views from today for a better tomorrow. And we just concluded our staff nurses finalists session, and the topic for them was the contribution of the nurses to the future of Indian healthcare. And Salome has beautifully narrated and listed 6 points. Moving to the student nurses category, their topic is preparing nurses for the future. We have the 2 finalists here with us. First, we have Miss Sandra John. Sandra John is a first year BSc nursing student from Holy Family College of Nursing, New Delhi. Sandra, who's beginning her future and a career in nursing, has also participated in SNA competitions. She is inclined towards debate and allocations since class 9th, and she attributes again this habit and hobby of hers to one of our teachers. There is something unique about all the three speakers which I'll be sharing at the end of the session. But Sandra, over to you now. The mic and the podium is yours. Come on, encourage first year BSc nursing student has come all the way from Delhi, has the courage and exhibited her talent to come and speak up. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, and I quote him, "To know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived is what called to be successful." Good afternoon, respected judges, audience. I am here to speak on the topic preparing nurses for the future. By 2030, this nursing profession will look vastly different, where nurses will be able to promote health equity, reduce health disparity, and is able to promote the well-being of others. Nursing schools must need to ensure that nurses are able to understand and identify the various social determinants of health, is able to work in a community with people of varied social experiences, and should have the competency to care for the aging and the diverse population. These calls align with the recent Health Resource and Service Administrative's recent strategic plan, which was a 4-mission critical goal. The first goal was to provide access to quality healthcare. Goal 2 was to promote a workforce that is able to address the current and the emerging needs. Goal 3 was to promote health equity and population health. And Goal 4 was to optimize HRSA's operation and service management. Additionally, recommendations from the National Advisory Council for the nurse practices and education to include the topics of public health into the curriculum of the undergraduates, so that they could partnership with HRSA and the Indian Health Resources, where they could work in the rural areas and in the frontier areas. In this way, they are able to increase their exposure. The students are able to increase their exposure to new experiences, new environment, and new competencies. The areas that I believe that needs focus in order to prepare nurses for the future are expanded learning opportunities. As enumerated above, these domains and competencies cannot be achieved just by the traditional lecture methods. The 2019 campaign for the Action Survey has identified the innovative clinical experiences and the interprofessional educational experiences as the top methods for teaching public health to the students. In fact, I believe that every nursing student should expose themselves to community health, because in this way they are able to expose themselves to various sectors of the society, wherein they are able to know and address the problems of STOH, which is a very major problem right now. The second area that I believe requires efforts are simulation-based education. Now, simulation-based education is very important, yet the most innovative way a person is able to impart clinical knowledge to themselves. Now, your simulation-based education could be a very low technique, like practicing injections on oranges, or it could be a very high technique, like using a virtual reality emergency room game. But each simulation makes sure that the bridge between education and the skill is covered. In fact, simulation helps these nurses to make real-time decisions in a more low-risk environment, and they are able to avoid the challenges that they face in the traditional clinical areas. The third area that I believe is cost factor. Now, cost factor is a very important factor in the nursing education. It's faced by almost all students, but it is more prominently seen in students with generally low income. But fortunately, I must say that this area or this problem has almost been resolved, because almost all the healthcare management is able to provide some kind of tuition reimbursements to students. And this is very much prominently seen in Indian education as well, where students from financially low background or weak background, they could enroll themselves into scholarships, or they could even enroll themselves into government institutions when the same education is provided to them at a very minimal amount. The fourth and the most important area that I believe needs focus is strengthening and diversifying the nursing faculty. The nursing system that focuses on diversified students who will address the problems of STOH in the future requires a very diverse faculty. But unfortunately, if we talk about on a global level, the nursing faculty, almost 93% of the nursing faculty is white and female. And almost 7% of them is represented by the underrepresented group. Now, these shortages contribute to turn away almost 80,000 qualified applicants. If we go into the statistical data, we'll see that the Latino and the Hispanic nurses, their involvement are more seen in the A&D courses and less in the PhD and the DNP courses. Whereas if we talk about specifically the Asian nurses, their involvement or the graduates are more in the MSN courses and low in the PhD graduates. And if we talk about a specific gender, like for male, the male nurses contribute only 9.9% as compared to any other profession where we see males. So to conclude, I say that the problems of STOH, public health, these are all the nursing schools. They cover these topics in more stringent and standalone courses. Although the nursing workforce has steadily increased, has steadily grown, but more efforts are required to mentor, support these diverse students. Before I end the speech, one thing I need to tell to everybody, every nursing students and every nursing educator, that be the best of yourself and be an asset to the country that made you competent enough to care for the ill. I would like to end my speech with a quote given by Florence Nightingale, that nursing is an art. And if it has to be made an art, it requires an exclusive devotion as that of sculptors or a painter's work. Nursing is one of the fine arts. I almost said the finest of the fine arts. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much. At any given point of time, it just did not appear that it's a first year BSc nursing student. You know, I was totally stuck with your data, your research and your groundwork. Over to you, judges. Any questions from Sandra?
I would say that, as Sandhya said, as a first year student, you don't sound to be as a first year student with your confidence and knowledge, what you have brought over here. And you come across as a very promising, futuristic nursing leader.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself after your graduation? To the future of nursing in India?
Ma'am, after I complete my course, I have not thought much about what I'll do after my BSc course, but I'll make sure that whatever I'll do in the future, I'll make sure that as a nurse, I'll be a very competent, skillful, and a nurse who will have a very positive aspect towards healthcare and patients.
Sandra, being so mature, you're just first year student, to your mind, like I'm very tempted to ask you this, that to your mind, how you think a faculty as your role model?
Ma'am, as a faculty, I know that nurses are given a lot of workload, especially in India, but the scenarios changes and accordingly the nurses also, their behavior also changes. But ideal faculty, I believe, is somebody who is more positive towards the healthcare, because there are times when emergency calls, there are times when they have to work double shift or they have to work for longer hours. Whatever shifts they were promised, they have to work for more than longer hours. So one thing that they have to make sure is they should be positive. They should know that whatever they are doing for the patient who is helpless at that moment, and they only have she as a nurse to help them. So as a nurse, for a patient also, that will be a helping hand.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sandra. All blessings and more power to you. Keep profession proud and high. Thank you. And we call upon our next speaker, again, equally a vibrant and very energetic girl. It was pleasure talking to you, and She is Jerlyn Susan Roy from Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, College of Nursing, Cochin. Over to you, Amrita. She again is an avid debater and orator, of course, who loves talking, and speaking is her hobby. Over to you. The podium is yours.
Thank you, Chair, for inviting me. A very warm and delightful good afternoon to each and everyone present here. Myself, Jerlyn, and as soon as I heard the topic, preparing nurses for the future, I read several articles and I came into the conclusion that this can be interpreted in different ways. And today, to speak upon, I have curated them into two. One, teaching them the reality of nursing. Two, instilling certain skills or qualities in order for them to meet the futuristic needs. Now, starting with teaching them the reality of nursing, during and after the COVID-19 pandemic, the demand for nurses have increased exponentially. Although there were high demand for nurses even before that, during and after the pandemic, the common people of our nation started accepting nursing and gave this profession high value. But what people are not aware of is that nursing can be very hectic. It is both physically and mentally straining. So the change must start from grassroots level, that is during the transition from school to workforce. Globally, in this day and age, the changing environment of social and health sector along with technology all calls up for a change. The digital technology have changed the way we communicate, the way we cooperate, and it is certainly going to change the way we work, the way we provide services. So it is necessary to integrate technology with nursing as it decreases cognitive load and increases efficiency. When I connect this to the topic, that is preparing nurses for the future, technology is not the only factor. There are some other underlying vital factors like instilling certain skills and qualities like confidence. Because when we are a nursing student like me, we can make some mistakes because we know we have our teachers. We're under the umbrella made by our teachers. But when we step into this profession, we are on our own. We have to be confident. We have to be assertive. Second, I would like to mention the ability to connect dots. As a nurse, it's our responsibility to do the right assessment, ask the right questions, and maintain a holistic understanding of patient's condition and connecting all of these together and making the right decisions at right time. Third, relation-based care. Well, this is something that's very simple, yet this is something that cannot be overstated. Because bedside manner is one of the most important tools in a nurse's arsenal. It is something that will have the biggest impact on the patient rather than the actual treatment. So as a nurse, we must possess the quality to provide a very comfortable and warm environment to the patient. When it comes to patient safety, we are someone who is in constant presence in bedside, right? So we are also someone who regularly communicates or interacts with the patient, family, pharmacists, doctors, basically all multidisciplinary healthcare teams. So we should also provide certain qualities like alertness or good interaction skill, the ability to multitask, good critical thinking power for future. Lastly, self-care is often neglected in nursing. That is a sad reality of nursing. So we must be resilient. We must have the capability to fight off like a warrior. We are already a warrior. All nurses are warriors, but we should also have resilience. Here, I would like to conclude myself by saying a quote. Tomorrow's nurses are taught by today's teachers, learning from yesterday's textbooks. Let us embrace ourselves. Let us empower ourselves. Let us let us have hunger for knowledge within our own craftsmanship. I hope you'll have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Jolene. Thank you very much. And just a quick connect with the juries. Any questions from Jolene?
Best wishes.
Thank you.
Very well articulated and good points, especially the last quote. I really liked it.
Thank you,
It's
ma'am.
the reality, and that is where the challenge lies.
Thank you.
Thank you, jury. Thank you very much. And thank you, Jolene. Very well presented, very well expressed. Can we have a big round of applause for Jolene, Sandra, and our speaker from the first session? Jolene is a second year BSc Nursing student. One thing in common while chatting with all three of them, it got revealed that they have avid reading habits. They love talking, they love debating. And I could see a big sense of gratitude when they attributed their speaking skills, their reading skills, their debating skills to the teachers who have motivated them in the schools. So, gratitude is something which goes a long way, which takes you a long way. And one skill and learning which I took from here, which is probably fading in nurses, as today we need to just remind and revive that reading never fails you. It's connected with knowledge, update, and information, everything. Fine. So this would be the learning session. Thank you, juries, because I'll be coming back to you to collect the results, and the results will be shared tomorrow during the valedictory session, and the winners will be announced. Thank you, and we conclude this session here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great efforts are invested by our national finalists to bring some valid points and their views on the topic. The attempt was remarkable. Thank you once again. May I request all the dignitaries to make your way to the ANEICON photo corner for a group.
May I please request the speakers, the finalists also to quickly join us. All three of you, Jolene, Sandra, and Salome. Hope you're there. Yeah.
With the permission of the chair, I would like to add to Salome's content. She said nursing is from womb to tomb. I would like to say it is before conception. Nursing starts, the caring starts, and then it doesn't end with the tomb when we care for people in their grief and grieving after death.